Hey homemakers, in this video I am clearing out my fridge and making a one-pot meal, and it's going to be chicken stew. And I tell you what, I've been cleaning out my refrigerator and my freezer, getting things ready for Thanksgiving. And I had some chicken that I needed to use up. I had this rotisserie chicken in the fridge. And then I had some Italian chicken I had cooked another time in the fridge. So I thought, okay, let's cook that up for today's dinner. And I had some veggies that were getting a little soft. So to make this chicken stew, I'm going to put three tablespoons of butter in that pan. And hang on a second, I need to get a clip. I'm sorry, 1 second. My hair was already starting to fall and get in my face. So I thought, you know what? Let's just clip it up. So there, got that taken care of. And now I won't be distracted. All right, so I've got 3 tablespoons of butter in this Crofton brazier. And I'm also going to use 3 large carrots. And for my young homemakers, I'm just going to roughly cut them. See that? They're just roughly cut. And I've cut most of them already. And hey, whoever that is joining me over there, the iPad is far enough away that I can't see it. Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit closer. Let's try that. I don't want to get off the screen. Oh, it's Emma Griffin. Hey, Emma, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, that's a little better. Well, let me see. Don't want my head to be cut off, but okay, that's a lot better. So I've got 3 or 4 large carrots, and I just kind of roughly chop them up like that. And then I've got 3 ribs of celery, and I'm just going to give them a rough chop, and I'm going to saute them in the butter. And while they're sauteing, I'm going to strip that chicken off of the carcass. Now, here's the thing. I like to buy those rotisserie chickens. I mean, they are just so nice to have. They're quick and easy for a meal. And I got one the other day, but we only used half of it. So I thought, well, let's just make some chicken stew with the other half. And then when I was clearing out my fridge, I found, well, the freezer, I found that little bag of Italian chicken. And there were some chicken thighs in that piece. Excuse me. So when you're making chicken stew, chicken soup, that kind of thing, the flavor mostly comes from the dark meat. The thighs, the legs, the drumsticks, that kind of thing. So if you've only got chicken breast, you're going to need to add a little bit of extra flavor, maybe with your better than base, which is something like this that can certainly add some flavor. And I want to thank you ladies for joining me. As I said earlier, I cannot see who you are, but welcome. Well, looks like my butter is melting. Now, when you're making something like this, too, for my young homemakers, you want to think about what's going to take the longest to cook. And out of these carrots, celery, and onions, it's going to take the carrots the longest to cook. However, they will soften up in the cooking of the stew. So I'm going to drop the carrots in there right now. And let them get started. And I just thought it would be fun to cook on camera. Oh, I just realized you can't see that. Let me move this over. Ooh, it's hot. It's a good thing I looked. Okay. There we go. And since I can't see the comments, I never would have noticed that you guys can't see what's going on. But okay, so now I've got the celery ready to go in there. And I just want to get them somewhat tender. I don't have very much room right here. I'm usually over at the stove, but I thought it might be a little bit easier today if I just try cooking right here in front of the camera. One of my viewers asked the other day, when was I going to do some more cooking on camera? So I thought, well, this one pot meal was a good time to do that. So just to show you real quick, it's just the carrots and the celery, and I got to cut that onion up. Let me grab something else. My iPad will try to follow me too when I move around. I tried to put everything right here in front so that I wouldn't have to run around and get things, but it seems like I'm always going to forget something. So I'm going to give this onion a rough chop. And this video is actually brought to you by Apron Diva, Pretty and Practical. We believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And right now we are having our early bird Black Friday sale, which started last Friday and is going on all week. So we've got our holiday and seasonal items on sale, so be sure to go over and check it out. And I thought I would just make this on screen rather than go through all the trouble of having to do the video and then having to edit. I thought I would just do it live. And for my young homemakers, this kind of dish, a chicken stew, beef stew, hamburger soup, is certainly something you definitely want to have in your arsenal, in your toolkit. Because you come in from a hard day's work, or maybe you've just been busy all day, the baby's been on your last nerve, and it's all you can do to catch a minute to yourself. Then a really quick chicken stew will do it. And that is probably the third or fourth robocall I've had today. I just really wish there was something we could do about that, but I get so many of those robocalls, and they've gotten so smart. They'll either have a number that looks like it's in your area, or a number that's similar to maybe a business that you might have worked with at one point, and you answer the phone thinking it's that, and it's somebody trying to sell you something. Now, right now, my husband is out, but he might be coming in soon. So if you hear a noise, that'll be him coming in. He'll be surprised to see me cooking dinner so early. But I just thought, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get this done. And it's easier to try to get this done live when he's not here, because he says I tell him he can't breathe. But anyway, I was talking to my young homemakers, telling them that you definitely want to have something like this in your arsenal. A really quick dish that you can just whip together with no trouble at all and get something on the table. And using a rotisserie chicken will allow you to do that. Because it's already cooked. And so like I said, we used half of it the other day, and now I'm using the other half for this meal. And I just love this cross and brazier. I've got it linked in my Amazon store just in case you're interested. And hello to the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I wasn't really sure if anybody would since I was jumping on so early. I don't usually go live quite this early. However, I thought this was a good time to get that done. So now what else am I going to need for this chicken stew? I've already got in here 4 medium-sized carrots, roughly chopped, 3 ribs of celery, roughly chopped, 1 medium to large onion, roughly chopped. Now I'm just going to kind of let that just kind of saute for a little bit. Now, for those of you that don't have a rotisserie chicken to work with, you can use a raw chicken and you can boil your chicken and all that kind of thing, but this is an easy way to get it done. Having a rotisserie chicken is just an easy way to get it started. Oh, I almost forgot. I need 3 large potatoes, and I got the potatoes in the sink. I've got them already peeled, but I had them sitting in water because I don't like my potatoes to turn brown. And I'm going to give them a rough chop as well. I like, bite-sized pieces. So about 1 inch, 1.5. I don't like them to be too big, but then again, I don't want them to get too small either. But the smaller they are, the quicker they will cook. Okay, hang on a second. I think chopping those onions has got my nose running, so. So sorry about that. Get my hands washed. Then I was wiping my nose. There. And I've got a little towel over here for when I have to wipe my hands. In case I have to wipe my nose again. So I'm just being real. But I like to be as clean as possible. So I can't see who that is. I knocked over my cell phone. Hopefully it won't ring. All right, so let's finish getting these potatoes chopped up. Or I should say cut up. Because I'm just cutting them up just very, very easily. And for you young moms out there, if you've got little ones, you can cut the potatoes smaller depending upon the size that you need for your family. Okay. Okay. Letting those onions and carrots and the celery just kind of saute a little bit so that it will soften on up. I don't want to put those potatoes in just yet, so wait, this one's too big. All right, I'm going to come over there so I can see what people are saying. Hang on a second. Oh, Janet McDonald. Oh, she says it's like being in the kitchen. Thank you. Miss C is here. Khadija is here. Hey, Khadija. Hey, all of you guys. I so appreciate you coming. I'm bringing it a little closer. So we'll see if I can be able to read some of the comments. I'm going to see how close I can scoot it. We'll see if that'll work. Oh, going to have to lift it up a little bit. I know what. I'm going to set the iPad up on a box. set it up on a box and we'll see if that helps. Ha! I set it up on 2 boxes of pop. There's a carton of Coke and a carton of Sprite, and that's working just fine. So now I can see who's there. So Masandra Washington, Ronnie Weaver, Keisha. What pan am I using? This is a Crofton Brazier. Has a nice little lid on it. I realize now though that I've moved that. This is off screen, so I'll have to, let me just turn you guys around a little bit. This live stream is a hot mess. I am so sorry. It is a hot mess. But I wanted to be able to read what you guys had. So now, this is a Crofton Brazier, is what it is. And I'll get my potatoes out of the sink. I probably should have left it the way I had it because you guys could see everything from there. But then I couldn't read any of the comments. So I thought, well, let me bring it up a little closer so I can see what you guys were saying. So, yeah, it's a hot mess. But sometimes being in the kitchen's a hot mess too. So thank you guys for joining me today. But yeah, it's a Crofton Brazier. And I'll link it in the description box just in case you're interested in checking it out. It's a cast iron, enamel cast iron skillet is what it is. And I really enjoy using it. So getting these potatoes cut up. And so I realize now that I brought it up so close, you guys can't see that. Yeah, I probably should have just left things the way they were. One more potato to cut. I'll give this more of a stir. And I can smell the onion and the celery and the carrots just really giving off a lovely aroma. And you can see the steam coming up too. So just nice. So I'll get this. I think I'm going to leave that lid on there for a little bit because I want that to saute down, to soften up pretty quickly. Let's see. If I'm not careful, I'll knock this thing over. There. Okay. So when the potatoes are all done being cut up, then I will drop them in and then I'll shred up my chicken. And then in case you guys are wondering which apron I'm wearing today, this is what we call linen. We've got one in a slate blue, and then this color is called sand. And it's just really nice to wear. It's so cozy. It's kind of like putting on a nice pair of jeans. Oh, and you guys should see our new ones, the ones we got in the, well, we got in 2 new sets. One of them is a denim apron that is so soft, it just feels like butter. And it's like putting on your favorite pair of jeans. We call it Shelly. And that one I absolutely love. But it's more for our plus size ladies. I almost put it on for this video just to show you how it might look on me. And Mickey Blue Skies was like, absolutely not. That is for our plus size ladies and our big and tall. That is not for you. So I didn't. But I did think about it. I will tell you, I did think about it. Okay. So I'm going to push this back just a little bit and say hello. And I hear, oops, I told you I was going to knock this over. Sounds like I hear the hubby coming. So he'll be shocked when he comes in and sees that I'm in here cooking and doing a live stream. He didn't expect that right now. If this iPad falls over, you guys, just there. I was gonna say, if this iPad falls over, just laugh and keep it moving. Okay, so I've got this warming up. So now I've got the last of this rotisserie chicken. And what I'm going to do with that is just pull it off the bone. So I'm just going to take 2 forks or 1 fork, we'll see what works. And I'm just going to just peel it apart. Now the carcass you'll want to save and make your own chicken bone broth. So I'll set this aside in like a little bowl or something. And then I'll use that to make my own bone broth. And it is so easy to do that. And there's the door. Hi, honey. He's shaking his head like, oh my God, I should have known. But I'm making your dinner.
Appreciate it.
He said he appreciated it. He appreciates it. But I'm sure he does get a little tired of every time he walks out the door and he comes back in. I've got the kitchen commandeered and I'm making another video. But I thought it would be fun though to do this live rather than to do a video and have to edit. The only thing that probably wasn't the most fun for you was when I had to scurry around off camera and then leave the screen. My computer though, my iPad will try to track me. Like if I move over here like this, or if I move around like this, the iPad camera will track me a little bit. It's kind of funny how it does that. When people are watching, they think it looks a little eerie. So I need about 1 pound of chicken. And I've got about that much, give or take an ounce or 2. Let me make sure I keep an eye on this. Okay. Because I have been known to chatter so much that I let something burn up. Okay. So just going to, again, just roughly cut this chicken up into bite-sized pieces. And then we'll have this chicken stew either with biscuits or with corn muffins. It just all depends. I love to have biscuits with chicken stew, but corn muffins are also quick and easy to make. And our family likes jiffy corn muffins, so a lot of times I'll just make those real quick. And if you're in a hurry, you need to get that meal on the table quickly, then just whip out that box of jiffy corn mix so that you don't have to worry about mixing all the other things together. All right, I'm going to get the potatoes in here now. Because remember, the chicken's already done. Now, if you're starting with a raw chicken, what you would want to do is to put the butter in the skillet, maybe bread and flour your chicken, or I should say flour your chicken, salt and pepper it, flour it, brown the chicken in the butter, and then once the chicken has been browning for 3 or 4 minutes, then you would add in your onions and your celery. Let that cook for a little bit, and then add in your vegetables and some other things that I'm going to put in here. But since I'm starting with the chicken that's already cooked, I don't need to do that. All right. So I'm going to add just a little bit of my chicken broth. I've got a cup of chicken broth here. Going to add just a little bit of that.
Call from Rush
That particular robocall comes every day. So what do you guys do when you get all those robocalls? I just wish there was some way that we could do something about that. Can't the FCC or somebody do something about that? What happened to the do not call list? That's what I want to know. So there was the rotisserie chicken that I had left over. And then I also have this bag of Italian chicken that I had made. And I made it several months ago. And this chicken is even breaded a little bit, but it'll be fine. Remember, I'm clearing out my fridge. So it'll be just fine. Now I'll just put it over there on the plate with the rest of it. And even all these little bits of goodness, I'm going to put that in there too. This piece is a thigh, so I'm going to need to break it up just a little bit. And remember, it's the dark meat that has a lot of the flavor. So how many of you guys have got your Thanksgiving grocery list started, or you've got all your Thanksgiving goodies in? And I think I'm even going to just put this bone in there as well. I've got all my Thanksgiving groceries in. If you missed my Thanksgiving, my November grocery haul and Thanksgiving meal prep, I'll link it in the description box and with an iCard above so you can check that out. But I got everything that I should need. I can't imagine what I've forgotten. But if there's something that I missed, I'll send Hubby to the store for it. He says I always manage to send him to the store for something on Thanksgiving week, but I don't plan on having to send him out on Thanksgiving Day. I plan to have all that all done. There. And then this Italian chicken that I had in the fridge, like I said, clearing out the fridge, it'll just add a little extra flavor. Okay. Let me wash my hands again. I got a sink full of soapy water here so that I can just go ahead and get things started washed up once I'm all done. I like to do that. I like to have a sink full of soapy water so that the cleanup is easier, and I try to clean as I go. Oh, you guys should have seen what I was doing earlier this morning. I had put that down in the water. I had some peppers that I had put in my Presto food processor. No, I can't talk. I had some green peppers that I had put in my Presto food dehydrator. And I had dehydrated them. It took probably about 10, 11 hours maybe for them to dehydrate. And then I let them sit out overnight so they could just dry completely. I just wanted to make sure everything was good to dry because I didn't want to end up having any of them have any kind of moisture, and then I end up with a problem. And then I put them in a jar. And I am just so pleased with them. Maybe I'll grab them and I'll let you see them. Let me get all this down out of the way. Okay. So now while this is doing its thing, and where's my, oh, here it is. My husband says I get out every dish in the house when I'm cooking. I don't think so, but he does. So I'll let you guys see this again. Now that's the one thing, there you go, you can see it's just got the veggies in it. That's the one thing about when you cook with the iPad, you can't get the various angles that you might want to try, that you can get with the camera. That just keeps the heat in and keeps it cooking. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, the remainder of my chicken broth, I'm going to put it in this little bowl. I'm also going to put in a half teaspoon of thyme, and thyme is just lovely with chicken. And this is some thyme that I actually dried myself. So I always have to scrunch it up a little bit because I didn't get the leaves like real fine. So a half a teaspoon of thyme. I'm also going to use just a quarter cup of salt, a quarter teaspoon of salt, just to see. I don't want to put in too much. I can always add more if I have don't have enough, but I can't take it out if I get too much. So there's that. And then I also need to put in a little bit of ketchup or Heinz chili sauce. That gives it a little bit of flavor. And you guys know I love using Heinz chili sauce in a lot of my dishes that I like to make. Now, the other thing I want to be sure to tell you is that if you're using chicken breast and you don't have any of the dark meat, you might have to add some additional flavor, particularly if you're using a rotisserie chicken. So you can use about a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of this better than bouillon chicken base, and that will also help. And then I can see already I'm going to need a little bit more liquid in here. So let's get so now I've got in all the veggies, I've got in my spices, which I put those spices in my chicken broth mixture, and now I'm going to add the chicken. And because the Italian chicken had just a little bit of breading on it, it's going to create a little bit of a thickener. But I can already see that I need more chicken broth. And I've got some chicken broth that I made. Let me grab that out of the fridge. I had it in the freezer, but it's not completely thawed out. So let's just see. And in the meantime, I'll put together some more of this. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me too while I make this meal. I'm supposed to put the better than base paste in warm water, but I got that other chicken broth in the microwave. So as soon as that comes out of the microwave, I'll put this in so that it's nice and warm. But it makes a lovely color. Look at that. But this is cooking up nicely. A nice one-pot meal. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned that this one-pot meal is part of a challenge that is hosted by my good friend Leona Dooley at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the Kitchen, and Stephanie at Creatively Miss Me with Stephanie. They will have a playlist with a lot of other one-pot meals for you to check out. So if you've got family coming in from a holiday, you are definitely going to need a one-pot meal to have something to serve while they're waiting for your Thanksgiving dinner to get on the table, and a couple days before as well. You're going to need something to put on the table. I think I'm just going to put this in here like that. It'll get heated up in here, so we'll just do it that way. This is a nice big pot too. See, look at there. Oh. Yep. This will serve probably 6. So the hubby and I will have this for dinner, and then I'll put the rest of it in the freezer so that when the family gets here on Tuesday, I've got something that I can pull out. So here's the chicken broth that I made but it's not completely thawed out. Let me just see. Look how dark that is. I'm gonna let this thaw out, and then I'll have all that in there. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. I needed that additional broth. I like my chicken stew to be a little bit more brothy. Now, I can add a little bit of cornstarch, and I do have some right here if I need to add it to make it a little bit thicker. But what I'll do sometimes if I need to have a thickener is I'll add a few mashed potato flakes. And that's probably what I'll do, because the mashed potato flakes will thicken it up just a little bit, but you're still getting you're getting the benefit of the mashed potatoes. But this is looking pretty darn good. Can you smell it, honey?
Yes, wonderful.
He's like, you really just don't bug me. Okay. So now I'm going to just let this cook for a little bit. I'm going to let it cook for about 15 minutes. While that's doing its thing, I'll clean this up. So let's get that started. And when I look over here, I do have quite a bit of stuff out. I'll get this set aside. Because you want to save your chicken carcass, bones, that kind of thing, to make bone broth. I'm going to leave the salt out, and I'm going to leave, and I'll leave the cornstarch there. I probably won't use that. I'll probably grab the mashed potato flakes instead, but we'll see what I need. And I'll get my peelings out of the sink. When I peeled my potatoes, get that put away. And you know, I don't usually cut meat on this particular cutting board. I just wasn't paying attention. I have another one that I like to use. I mostly use this one for just vegetables. But I inadvertently did that. So I'll make sure that I give it a good scrubbing, and then I'll get it all cleaned up. So I'll get that cleaned up. So now that I got it cleaned up, I will dry it, and then I will set it aside and let it dry. And then I will take some vegetable oil and just dry it up, or rather oil it up real good. I like to do that probably every couple of times that I use it. I'll oil it up with the vegetable oil just to kind of help keep it protected. It's not super expensive or anything like that, but I do like it, and I want it to last. And in case you're interested in getting the cutting board, I'll link one in the description box just in case. And it could be one of those things you put on your wish list for the upcoming holidays. Well, let's see.
Call from Swedish Medical.
So that's number 5, I think, today. And there's probably been 3 just since I've been talking to you guys. So, I would love it if we could figure out a way. I almost dumped out my coffee. I forgot that I hadn't finished. But I would love it if we could figure out a way to prevent those calls. So let me get this washed up real quick, and then I'll come over there and see who's on and see what people are saying. And I can answer a few questions. I needed to get this knife washed up though, because you don't let your butcher knife soak in water. So I needed to get that washed up and dried. And I'll set it over here until I get it put away. I'll put these down in the water so they can be soaking, and I'll come and see what you guys are seeing in the chat. There. Oh, Mom Margie, she said she loves one-pot meals because it makes life so much easier as well. Whoops! I told you guys I was going to knock this thing over. Whew. There. Let's see. Undo. I don't know what that is. There we go. I told you I was going to knock it over. So Amy says dishes are her least favorite thing. You know, Amy, I used to hate washing dishes too. Now I don't mind washing dishes at all. And I think it's just a mindset. I just came to the realization that, you know what, it's just a part of being a homemaker. And I like pretty dishes. So I'll buy some of the prettiest dishes that I can find. And then I don't mind using them and washing them up. However, we have been using paper plates quite a bit too, because my husband prefers paper plates. Oh, sure, I can post this recipe. It was really nice and simple, Topaz. So I'll put the recipe, the link to the recipe in the description box. And then Forever May, hey, May has been with me a long time. So let's see. She says, what is that you're using to clean your cutting board with? That's an issue. Oh, here, I'll show you. Let me grab it. It's just a little brush. Like this particular little set right here, I got it from the Grove Collaborative. It's this little scrubber bubber thing. And then there's like a little platform with a spring on it, and then this little bowl, and you put dishwater water in it, and then you've got the brush, and then you can go like this and then get soapy water on it, and then scrub your whatever that you need to scrub with that. So I like to use that particularly on my cutting board. So that really helps. And then as I was saying, I try not to use meat on this particular one. I've got one that's like made out of granite, kind of a countertop material that I would try to use when I have meat on there. But yeah, I get it. Ronnie says she enjoys watching me. You enjoy me running around the kitchen and making a mess. Huh? So Ronnie's talking to Veronica. She says on a day off, try making freezer meals and see how that. Yes, freezer meals really, really work out well because when you come in from work and the kids are hungry and you're tired and hungry, yeah, freezer meals really help. I remember once when I was a young mom. I was a young mom at one point. I remember I came home from work and we had twins. It was our first babies. And we were living in Indianapolis at the time. And I had picked them up from the center and they were hungry. They were ready to eat. I was in the kitchen trying to get their meal ready. They must have been about 9 or 10 months old because they were still crawling. They were both crawling around the floor, crying. They were clawing at my legs. I remember I just stood in the kitchen like this, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I just wanted to just scream and cry myself because it was just one of those days. I am a nurse, and I had worked at the medical center, and the unit that I worked on when the babies were little was a really, really busy unit. Oh, I came home exhausted every day. And it was just like, oh my goodness. So I get it. So having something quick, like something that you can cook in one pot, Picking up those rotisserie chickens really do help. Cut them in half and have one with maybe potatoes and some other kind of vegetable in a salad, and then save the other half and make a stew or something like that. Hey, Sylvia, good to have you join me. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Khadijah. I never think to say that, but thank you guys. I appreciate that. I got 48 people on here. I can't believe that, but thank you so much for joining me. Let me see who's all here and see what people had to say. So Emma Grippa says she's caught me live from the UK. Thank you, Emma. I appreciate you jumping on. And you know what? I don't usually jump on this early, but I thought, why don't I just go early this today? Try to get dinner done before hubby gets home. And it really worked out well because it turns out it's a good time for many people. But here's the other thing, ladies. You don't always have to wait till 4:30 or 5 o'clock to start dinner. If you already know what you're going to make and you can work it into your schedule, start dinner at 10:30 or 11. Get it done, get it out of the way, and then just have it sitting on top of the stove or resting in the oven until it's time to go. That always works. Hi, Keisha. Hi, Sue. Hi, Terry. And hi, LaTanya Shante. I am so glad you were able to join me today. Jemison, Alabama. Kathy Davis, thank you. I'm glad you were here to join me today. And then Lynn Lang, hello, welcome. Love my cast iron pot. It is really nice. My daughter-in-law, or I should say my daughter-in-law, Robin gave me this, and I absolutely love it. Now, it is an enamel cast iron skillet or a cast iron pot. So like this part right around here, that's the cast iron. Want to make sure I can still feel the heat. So when I wash it up, I will treat that part. Like once I get it all washed and cleaned up, I will take some oil and I will oil all around that cast iron piece that's on here as well as on here. So I'll do that just to keep it nice. Hi, Pam Payne. Let's see. Oh, Heather Marie, so glad you joined us. And then Janice says, it's like being in the kitchen. I just ate a this and that chicken thigh stew for breakfast. Read the thighs have brown fat, better for health. Oh, yes, and it does have more flavor. So the thighs have more flavor and also the brown fat, which she just reminded us is better for health. So yeah, that's true as well. And you know what? Just kind of cut off that fridge or to make throw in everything but the kitchen sink. You can do soup, you can do stew, and it's healthy and fine. And then here's Miss Congeniality. Hey, Miss C, I am always glad to see you. You almost are always there to support me, and I appreciate that. I already spoke to Khadijah. And then Masanja Washington is here from Michigan. And then I spoke to Ronnie Weaver and everyone else. So I think. So Heather Marie said she got one in the mail yesterday. So she's excited to use it. So, oh, you got one of those braziers. Great. You'll have to do something and let us know how you liked it. Khadijah made a 15-minute Instant Pot meal last night, red beans and rice, and it was great. Did you videotape it, Khadijah, for Leona's one pot challenge? Just curious. But yeah, Instant Pots are pretty good. I didn't want to mess with the Instant Pot today, though. I already knew that I was going to use this chicken because I'm cleaning out my fridge. And I didn't see the point in getting out the Instant Pot for that. Yeah, Sue says she ignores the robocalls, don't answer them. I don't answer them either. But I tell you what, I got one night, it must have been about 11:30 at night. I grabbed the phone and I will tell you, I bless their soul. I was like, seriously? I mean, it's 11:30 at night. Don't you have any respect for anyone? And then we got one morning about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought there was a law that you couldn't call before 8 o'clock or after 9 o'clock at night, but some people just do whatever. So Keisha says, yes, just picking up odds and ends. And then Rachel Knight. Hey, Rachel, how are you? And let's see. Veronica says it's not the best time, but how do I handle homemaking and working an 8-to-5 job? Let me just check this burner real quick. I want to make sure this is still cooking because I think I'm going to move this over to the stove. For some reason, this pot doesn't seem to be, oh wait, there it goes. There it goes. It had like clicked itself off. Maybe I had it on too long and it had clicked itself off, but I'm going to move this over to the stove anyway. That way I don't have to worry about it. We've pretty much gotten it cooked, so I'm going to move it over here. And I'll just set it here and let it do its thing here. So, there we go. And I'll turn this little thing off. You guys will get a good laugh out of this, but this little burner here that I'm using right here, I actually bought it for my husband. And let me pull a chair over here. I bought it for my husband, and because he likes to fry fish, and he likes to use those cast iron skillets to fry fish. And when I got that new stove, one of the things that I realized right away was that the cast iron skillets would scratch up the stove top. So I told him he couldn't use it on the stove anymore. So I bought him this little burner so that he could cook them there. And he didn't like it. He said it doesn't heat up well enough. It doesn't stay heated long enough. So that man gave away all my cast iron skillets. I had 3 of them, 8-inch, a 10-inch, and a 12, and a chicken fryer. He took them outside, and because I said he couldn't use them anymore, he thought, well, we didn't need them, and put them on top of the trash can. And while he was out there, some woman was driving down the street and stopped and said, "Are you giving those away or throwing those away?" He said, "Yes." She said, "Well, can I have them?" And he said, "Oh, sure." And he said she was so excited to get them. I guess she was. I was like, "You did what?" I used those cast iron skillets in the oven to roast chickens and make skillet cornbread and all that kind of stuff. So, and I bugged him about it, and I would tell people about it till he got sick of hearing me talk about it. So he bought me a 12-inch cast iron skillet. But the question was, how do you work homemaking and work in an 8-to-5 job? One of the things you want to think about, Veronica, and I think one of the ladies might have put that in here, was what you might want to consider doing is make ahead meals. What can you make ahead, like freezer meals, that kind of thing, so that you can have something to pull out of the freezer when you come home, or that you can take it out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator so that it's thawing when you come home. The other thing you'll want to do is on Sundays or Saturdays when you have some time. Sundays could be the best day, like after church when you're making your meals. And let's say you're going to make a roast chicken for Sunday dinner. If your family is going to eat the whole chicken for Sunday dinner, then make 2 roast chickens, and you'll have 1 roast chicken for Sunday dinner, and you'll use that second roast chicken later in the week, and you'll have maybe chicken with sweet potatoes that you'll put a sweet potato in the microwave, and you can bake them in like 6 or 7 minutes. You might have green beans or mashed potatoes, but something like that. You could also do something simple like a hamburger vegetable soup. That makes up pretty quickly, or chicken enchilada casserole, chili. Think about the kind of things that you can cook pretty quickly and pretty easily that you can feed your family and not make yourself crazy. The other thing that you're probably considering is the home keeping. I was just talking about the feeding of the family, but if you're looking at home keeping, the things that I've found is so important is having a weekly and a daily routine. Veronica, get up at least an hour if you can before your family, but 30 minutes at least to get yourself together, ready in the morning so that you're good to go, so that when you get them up, you've taken care of yourself. That's number one. Number two, there may be some daily routines that you can do either before they get up, like maybe unload the dishwasher, get the dishes put away, or do a switch and swipe in the bathroom so that when you come home, some things are just kind of neat. Or if you have to get up too early, you've got too much going on in the morning, then you save those routines for in the evening. So you get up, get yourself together, put your kids through their routine to get them out the door in the morning. You hit the door for work. And then when you come home, you've already thought about what you're going to cook. Crock pot meals are great. You can put it in the crock pot before you leave to go to work. And when you come home, it should be all ready to go. And then maybe laundry. One thing I encourage you to do if you've got a family is do a small load of laundry every day. Either throw it in the wash before you leave for work, when you come home, before you start dinner, throw it in the dryer so that after dinner you can fold those things up and get them put away. Don't leave them in the dryer and don't leave them in the basket. You can get the kids to help you put things away. It won't take very long. If you give the kids their things to put away, as Fly Lady Cat says, you have to inspect what you expect. So if you give them a stack of underwear or a stack of jeans or some socks or whatever to put away, you just need to kind of tiptoe on upstairs to make sure they put them where you told them to put them. Because what you don't want to do is end up washing clean clothes again because they ended up in the dirty clothes hamper. So there's that. And then on the weekend, there will be things that you'll want to take care of doing. The Fly Lady system really is a game changer. It really does help you sort things out. She's got the system broken up into a series of daily and weekly routines to help you keep your house on track. And I tell you what, it's a game changer. And boot camp was so good. Fly Lady Cat had us in boot camp for October. It was amazing because what it forced us to do was to live the system and not just talk the system. So it really does make a difference. So there's that. But yeah, a series of routines, make ahead meals, freezer meals, and using your dishes a couple times. Okay, so I'm sitting here talking, and then I looked over at the stove. You guys see all that steam popping up? I thought, I better get over here and see what's happening. Because I am good at talking and chatting. Turn this on. I got it up too high. There we go. Yeah, my stove works just fine. So let's get that turned down. Okay. That looks pretty good, people. Let me just see how close we are to those vegetables getting tender. Carrots still look like they're a little bit chewy. Got good flavor though. They still need more time. But I don't need the heat blasting like I had it, so I did get that turned down. Now let me just taste the broth. I want to see how the broth is tasting. It's good. So I don't need to add any more salt or anything like that. But what I will do is add just a little bit of mashed potato flakes, but not yet. I want to let those vegetables cook up a little bit more. Yeah. I turned it around and oh my goodness. I mean, that was just like it was blasting. I saw all of that steam, and I'm like, I better get around there and see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna come around here again and sit down. That way I can sit and chat with you guys. It does look really good. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? So Chris says she loves that pot. Looks yummy. Yeah, it does look really good. And the broth was really good too. I always feel like if the broth is good, everything else is going to fall into place because the broth just kind of seasons everything. Mom Margie looks so delicious. Mom Margie, you look like my sister-in-law, Suzette. You guys are talking to each other. Let's see. Yeah, now one-pot meals do make it easy for cleanup too. I've got out a lot of extra dishes that I normally wouldn't have to have out. But since I was trying to get things planned ahead and set out so that I could make things easy while I was working with you guys, I got out more dishes than I probably needed to in general. And then here's the advice that Ronnie gave to Veronica about on her day off, trying freezer meals and see how that works out. Let's see. So Rachel said she's been doing a lot of one-pot meals lately to give herself a break before Thanksgiving and Christmas. So yeah, that makes perfect sense too. And the other thing you can do is make the one-pot meals and have them in the freezer so that the week of Thanksgiving or the week of Christmas, when all the family's there, you can pull those meals out and serve them so you can enjoy your family and not spend the whole time in the kitchen. So you can do that. Sorry, I had to wipe my nose there. So JD wants to know, am I practicing nursing these days? I'm retired, but I still do work as a nurse. Like, for example, last week I did a COVID clinic. So we were giving COVID vaccines in the community at a barbershop, actually. And so I was there to help with that. Me and 3 of my sorors, my sorority sisters, we're Codified Nursing Sorority, and we do health promotion and disease prevention activities in the community. And that particular day, we were doing a COVID clinic. I'm also active in the community with Safe Sleep, which babies sleep best on their backs. So think ABC when you're thinking about babies. A, alone in a crib, B, on their backs, and C, in a crib. We don't put babies on their face anymore because it's a suffocation risk. We put them alone in their cribs. We don't put bumper pads, pillows, blankets, quilts, toys, nothing in the crib with the baby. They don't sleep with mom or dad or siblings or anything like that until they're over a year old. After they're over a year old, we don't quite worry quite as much as sudden infant death syndrome or something like that. But when they're under a year old, we want to try to get them to their first birthday. So safe sleep is important for that. Let's see. Number 6. Number 6.
Call from Sluicenburg.
Let's see. The Happy Housewife, Yvonne. Hello, The Happy Housewife. I'm so glad you joined us today. So Janet McDonald is telling Veronica she grocery shops on the way home, cooks Sunday afternoons, and then she labels and dates everything. She's got a used upright freezer and 3 months of scratch pizzas, lasagna. Just take things out in the morning and thaw in the fridge. So yeah, you're getting some good advice from a lot of the ladies who have to live this life as well. Oh, Katie Q from Ireland. Gosh, this is a great time of day to jump on live. Who knew? I'm getting so many people from a different time zone that this actually is working out pretty good. And then, hey, Wendy. So Rachel does chicken thighs in the crock pot and then chicken and bumblings. I'm not sure what that is. You'll have to share with us what that is. So Margie says she never thought of oiling around the rim of her Dutch oven. Yeah, that just kind of helps to keep it from rusting. I just think it's another way to take care of it. It's a cast iron skillet. So with my regular cast iron skillet, after I wash that, I oil it down completely to put it away. Let's see. Wendy says there are laws for robocalls and not all are from legitimate companies. And those that aren't don't follow the rules. So Veronica Topaz is also giving you the suggestions about cooking several meals on your day off and then freezing them so you can pull them out on your work days. So Mom Margie says she wish it was her that was the one that got those 3 skillets, those cast iron skillets. And Amy said her husband would be in the doghouse. Trust me, he was. So he finally got sick of me complaining about it or talking about it or telling people about it. He said, all right, fine. And he brought me a new one. So Chris said she uses hers on her flat top stove all the time. Well, and it could be that the way he used them though too. I put this cast iron enamel skillet because he's like, well, how come you can use that? Well, I don't drag let me get this off the screen. I don't drag the pot or the skillet across the stovetop. I will put it down and I will lift it up gently and lift it down gently. Whereas he's dragging it across the stovetop and all. He's not as careful as I am. So that's what I do. Amelia Thomas, thank you. I appreciate that. Ronnie says they're the first to wake up and the last one to bed. You got that right. So Chris says she watches almost every day, and it's just her and her hubby. Her grands are in and out on the weekend. I watch every day too. Now, if I start my laundry on Monday, which is my weekly home blessing, so on that day, I get up, I will strip the bed, and then I will wash the sheets and the towels on Monday. And then if I have to do his white shirts or a load of his clothing, I'll do another load of his clothes on that day. And then I'll do a load on Tuesday. If I do a load on Wednesday, maybe, but by Wednesday, my laundry is done because there's just the 2 of us. Now in the summertime, that's a different story because he's fishing just about 3 times a week. And then he's out cutting the grass and all kind of outside stuff. So in the summertime, he generates as much clothing as a 2-year-old, or I should say as much laundry as a 2-year-old. But in the wintertime, it's a lot better. So I do a load every day, but by Wednesday, I'm done. So Monday, I might do 2 loads. Tuesday, I'll do 1. Wednesday, I'll do 1. I'll do 2 on Tuesday if necessary, but usually by Wednesday, I'm done with laundry. Oh no, the question about nursing wasn't too personal at all. We're just chatting here. Oh, Margie's repeating what I said. Yes, I like that. You look so much like my sister-in-law. Oh my goodness. Jerry Black says retired from healthcare administration to care for her Alzheimer's ex-nurse babe. Okay, well that's good for you. Need soup recipes. Well, I'll put this recipe in the description box. Oh, thank you, JV. I appreciate that. And then Will says, just came across my channel, loving it so far. Well, thank you. And Road Trip Trish, hello. Finally caught me live. Thanks for all the YouTube videos. She enjoys watching. You know what? I tell you what. I had to get this one pot meal video done, or the one pot meal, I should say, done because I needed to participate in the collaboration with Leona. I promised her I would do one, but I've just been so busy. We've gotten in so many new products with the Apron Diva business to get some new things in for the holidays that I just didn't have time today, or even leading up to today, to do a video and then have to do the editing. So I thought, you know what, one pot, I can do it live, and then people would enjoy that as well. I'm not sure what that is. And then Oregon Zant, hello, thank you. Let's see. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Yes, Trish says one pot meals are so quick, and I love your avatar too, by the way. And then 3 Angels says she just wanted to say she loves all my videos. She sits there relaxed. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that too. Let me get back over here and check on what I'm supposed to be doing, which is cooking. Because after I did all that talking, what I don't want to do is burn it up. My husband will be down here thinking, and what were you doing while the dinner was burning up? So Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it's ready. I'm going to grab some, you know, I think I got some potato flakes over here. I'm going to use just a little bit of this mashed potato flakes in this bag. These are some potato flakes that I bought for my preps, and they're really good. And I need to start using some of the things on my preps as well. Like, for example, this has a use by best by October of 2021. So I do need to start using some of those. So for those of you that are building a prepper pantry, you want to make sure, though, that you are checking the things on your shelf. So I'm just going to get maybe just a couple of tablespoons, and I'm going to put those in the stew. Hey, you guys, tell me this. When you guys were little, now for you millennials, you may not have this issue, but for you more seasoned homemakers, when you were little and learning how to cook, what was a tablespoon? Was this a tablespoon? Or was this a tablespoon? I have to tell you what, even though this is a tablespoon, and this isn't old one, I've had it ever since I've been married. When I was little learning how to cook, this was a tablespoon. This was a teaspoon, and then you just kind of figured out what was a half and that kind of thing. We didn't have like regular measuring spoons. Now, I'm not saying they weren't available. I'm just saying that's not what I used to learn how to cook. So if you guys use tablespoons like this when you were learning how to measure stuff, tell me in the comment section. And how many of you used coffee cups as measuring cups? Tell me that. Yes, I would like to know. So now adding those 2 tablespoons of potato flakes is just going to thicken it up just a little bit. And you can do the same thing with cornstarch. It works better than flour because flour, you got to make sure you get it mixed up so that it doesn't lump up in your dish. So now let me just dish up a little bit so you guys can see it. Oh, I need a smaller dish. Yeah, I already got the one. Looks good. Let me try to tip it a little bit. I'll get a spoon up. I'm going to come around here. I'm just breaking all the rules today about not leaving the screen and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Oh, I left that cabinet door open. Visual clutter. I hate to leave those open because that visual clutter is just a mess. Well, actually, it's not a mess because I cleaned it out the other day. But, okay. So here's my stew, my chicken stew. And I've got some of the chicken and some of the vegetables right there. We'll give it a little taste. I've got, and I don't like for the vegetables to get too soft. So this is good because they've got just a little bit of a, I think the camera's like right there. They've got a little bit of a chewiness to them. So, delicious. And those potato flakes were perfect for giving it just a little bit of thickening. If it's too thin, it's more like soup. but just a little bit of thickness, and then you've got your stew. And then what's the difference between chicken and noodles and chicken and a stew? Stew, you have potatoes instead of noodles. Mm-mm. Delicious. All right, what you guys saying? Let's see. Excuse me. Let's see. All right. Since I love this comment so much, I'm going to go back to it where Chris said she just loves that. Just chatting like a sweet neighbor. What a blessing. I am really trying to be a blessing. I'm trying to be a mentor for my community. You guys know I love mentoring and working with young women. I just love it. My daughter said, Mom, you quit teaching nursing and now you're teaching on YouTube. And I guess I am, but I just enjoy it, you know, and I'm retired. So this gives me an outlet too. It gives me people to chat with, that kind of thing. I can take this down now too, since I'm done cooking. So that wouldn't keep falling in my eye. So I like that. And let's see. Debbie Joe 123 is one of my good subscribers. Debbie Joe, thank you so much for jumping on. And I so appreciated you jumping on when I was on Penny's Place the other day. That was so much fun. And there I was. My sister caught that show. She said, there you were on there teaching again. And I was like, well, that was what she wanted me to do. And it was fun. So Topaz says, when cooking freezer meals, pick similar meals that have same ingredients. Oh, yeah. Great. That's the tip of the week. So Topaz, when you're cooking freezer meals, pick similar meals that have similar ingredients. It reduces the prep time. So if you're making a freezer meal that maybe 3 or 4 of them, and maybe they all have carrots and potatoes or something like that, that way you can prep some of those kinds of things at once and it doesn't take as much time. Great idea. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Candace said she's gotten lots of compliments on her apron. You have it on your kitchen mannequin. Which one did you get, Candace? I would like to know. And what was your apron note? Because that's important too. So what was your apron note? I want to know that. And then in case you guys are saying, well, what's an apron note? Well, the apron notes are like little love notes that we put in with every order. For those of you who are wondering why she's talking to me about aprons, well, I have an online apron boutique called Apron Diva. Pretty and practical. We say that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And we hosted our first early bird Black Friday sale starting last Friday, November 12th, and it's going on all this week. And the seasonal and holiday aprons are on sale. And some of the seasonal items can be where we got in for like Mother's Day or something like that. So check those out. And Candace ordered something. So which one did you get? And then we put an apron note in with every order. And since I've been getting so many people ordering 2 or 3 aprons, I'm thinking they're doing Christmas shopping or Hanukkah shopping, so they're getting gifts. So I'm putting in extra apron notes, one with each apron, so that if it is a gift for someone, they'll get that. They'll have the note for that. So that's what I'm doing there. Jerry Black is making seafood gumbo this weekend. I like gumbo, but I like mine with sausage, chicken, and ham. I'm not a big seafood person. Now, we'll put shrimp in it, but I don't like all that other seafood. Hey, Michelle. It's good to have you with us. I saw that it was 12:30 and I thought, oh, there's a 1 o'clock live stream that I want to get on. Tanya Dalton from the Inkwell Press. She does the planner that I like to buy. And she's doing something about goal setting. So I want to be sure and jump on there. I'm going to ask her if she'll come to us on Homemaking with Purpose. I don't know if she will because she charges big money for speaking. But I'm going to ask. We'll see. All she can say is no. So I'm going to ask that. Oh, let's see. Okay, Jerry, glad you're here. Wellness Wednesday. I like that, L. Robinson. I like it. I like it. I like it. Linda Stokes. I keep thinking Lillian Stokes. I had a very good friend named Lillian Stokes. So I like your name. And Wendy says she likes the apron that I'm wearing. It's called a Lynn Sand. It's in our apron line. It is on our website, and it's the Lynn Sand. We have a Lynn Slate Blue, and then this color is sand, and it's really kind of nice. So let me just kind of show you. It's got, pockets here, and then there's like a pocket here too for your cell phone and that kind of thing. So you should see the new half aprons we got in. Oh my goodness, are they so cute? So Linda says silverware. Yeah, she knows just what I'm talking about. JV says he remembers as well. Oh, Stephanie says she's a millennial and she used silverware for measuring growing up. Well, okay then. All right, then I'm not as old as I thought. All right. Oregon says we definitely learned what the eating utensils. Yeah, we would have we'd have that tablespoon, and that was what we used to measure. And Road Trip Trish says she's a millennial, but her mama taught her to cook. So they use the little spoon and the big spoon to measure. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sue says, yes, silverware, tablespoon, and a coffee cup was the measuring cup. I get it. You know what? I've got this really old cookbook. It was my mom's mother's, and I think it was my grandmother's mother's cookbook. But one of them is called Bettina, At Home with Bettina or something like that. But Bettina is married to Bob, and she's doing all this cooking. She's a newlywed back in the 30s, maybe 20s or 30s, maybe 40s. And this one that's older, this particular book was the Women's Home Exchange Cookbook, and it was done in like 1891 or something. It had recipes like butter the size of a goose egg, or, a lump of lard. I'm like, what size is a goose egg? It was just really kind of interesting. And then Rachel says her mom used regular old spoons too, and said she's a millennial. Oh, Debbie Jo says, after the holidays, could I go through and do another meal planning video? Okay, I can do that after the holidays. You know what, Debbie Jo? You said you're trying not to spend a fortune on food. I have to tell you, when I got groceries, what day did we get groceries? It must have been, well, I don't know. Whatever day we got it, you guys, I brought the haul in and put it up live as soon as we did it, because I thought there's no point in trying to shoot it later. But that grocery haul was $400. I wanted to put on that title, worst sticker shock yet, because I was like, what? So when the lady rang it up and she said, okay, that'll be $404. I'm like, what? She says 404. I said, are you sure? She says, yeah. I said, well, did you get my Kroger Plus coupons on? She says, yeah, you saved $65. I was like, oh my God. And then my husband had come with me that day. Now, some of it was him, because, when you shop, there's things that you get that you like, and there's things that you want to get that, if you don't shop, you don't think to ask for. So there were extra things that he'd been wanting to get that he picked up while he was there, which was fine. But grocery bill was sky high. And then we're having family come in on Tuesday. So today is Wednesday. So a week from yesterday, our son is coming in with his family. So I needed to have extra food for breakfast, for lunches, for dinners, because I figured if they're coming all this way, they shouldn't have to go out and, eat out, that kind of thing. But I tell you what, I was like, seriously? I shouldn't have to go to the store again in a month. Tattoo Cooking says, hello. Hi there, honey bun. Good to have you with us. Chicken stew is one of her favorite dishes. It is good. It is really good. And I've let it sit here on the table for a little bit. So now it's kind of cooled off and I can eat it a little better. And this is really good to help with flavor. This Essen House Amish Country Kitchen chicken base. They've got chicken, beef, pork, turkey, sauteed onions, and sauteed vegetables. So I bought the vegetables, the sauteed vegetables and the sauteed onions, just to kind of see how that might taste. Margie said her mom didn't have a measuring spoon. She sometimes used the palm of her hand. That was something her mother did. Yeah, they eyeball everything. Yeah. And I get that. Like sometimes I'll put like salt in the palm of my hand to see, like if I'm putting salt in like grits or rice or something like that, I'll put it in the palm of my hand and just kind of see how much it is. And I'll just like sprinkle it in. So yeah, I do that too. She said her mom didn't own a measuring spoon, but she did have those glass measuring cups, probably those Pyrex ones. And then, of course, later on, everybody got Tupperware. So Debbie Jo said her mom always taught her to use regular measuring spoons and cups. You have permission to break those rules. And you know, I can see where it makes sense, Debbie Jo, because once you learn how to use the regular things, then you can adapt or adjust. Oh, put that chicken stew over a biscuit. I plan to have biscuits with it. I wouldn't have thought to pour the chicken stew over it, but some people will use the biscuits to sop up the juice too. It's really good. Hey, B, good to have you there. Burgers are on the menu tonight. We had burgers for lunch a couple days ago. What am I picking? I'm not sure. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. Class. So Debbie Jo says she never thought of potato flakes. It's a great idea. So yes, for the thickening. And let's see. Hi, V. Oh, that's too funny. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Oh, Debbie Jo, yeah, you was. Oh, thank you so much for joining me on Penny's Place. It just helps to have people from my community there to support me. So I appreciated that. And you got to see what we talk about when we're in YouTube land, when we're trying to figure out how to better serve our YouTube audience, what we need to do to make people want to watch our video, to make people stay on the video, and then how to best serve them. So that was fun. Thanks, Trish. And the aprons are gorgeous. Let's see. Janet's talking to Jerry. Oh, thank you. M says the plug for my aprons. They're high quality, beautifully made, great looking. So thank you, M. Yes, please shop our early bird Black Friday sale, www.aprondiva.com. Oh, I like it. A can of Campbell's golden mushroom soup to your chicken stew. Oh, let me go turn this off. Yeah, I gotta get that off there. Yeah, I told you guys, I'll get to chatting and forget what I'm doing. The next thing I know, I'm burned up dinner. Okay, Debbie Jo, your apron note was awesome. Good, good. Candace was going to tell us what her note was, but she forgot. And then Nefertiri, we are just wrapping up. But thank you. I'm so glad you jumped on. You'll have to catch the description box. You know what? Cooking Conversations, I will here. Let me put it here in the... I'll put it here. I don't have anything in the description box yet because what I did was I just got everything set up and just got started cooking. So I didn't have a chance to put anything in the description box yet. So I'll do that after the video, but that's my website, www.aprondiva.com. So please go there. And Nefertiri said she had to take her husband shopping with her to prove how much groceries had gone up. My husband was a little bit shocked too. He was very surprised. Yeah, I was like, what? But again, I got my turkey, I got my ham, I got everything that I need to serve Thanksgiving dinner. We're probably going to have about 25 people here. And then I've got food for before the Thanksgiving and then our regular stuff too. So yeah. Food has gone up so much. Keisha, I'm going to serve that stew with biscuits. So listen, I got to get ready to get off, guys. This has been so much fun. I tell you what, I forgot how much I enjoy doing live streams. This was so much fun. I enjoyed cooking live on camera. And I'll try to do more because this was fun. And like once it's done, it's done. I'll try not to be so scattered where I'm having to run off and on the screen. I'll try not to do that. And I don't know how to edit well enough to go in and trim that out. So it'll just have to stay in there. But I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. This has been great. If you missed the cooking about the whole thing, please catch me on the replay and then leave me a comment. I love it. I'm going to have to jump off so I can get on this master class because Blue Skies has sent me 2 messages that it's starting in 10 minutes. So thank you guys. This was fun. Yes, it was so intimate, just like I was sitting here with my sisters or my girlfriends, and I really appreciate it. So again, go on over to www.aprondiva.com. Check me out there. Or if you're needing to know how to cook a few different things for Thanksgiving, check out my Thanksgiving 101 playlist because I show you how to roast a turkey, how to roast a turkey breast, how to make collard greens, my cornbread stuffing, all kind of side dishes, and my family favorite, mac and cheese. So please check that out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you, guys.